My name is Michael Battelle, and I am the president and founder of the Fatty Liver Alliance. The Canadian Association for the Study of the Liver, better known as CASL, hosted an amazing 2.5-day liver conference in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. One full day that was organized by the Canadian NASH Network, also known as CANASH, was solely dedicated to NAFLD and NASH. The presentations were exciting, informative, and very much appreciated by the attendees. 9 presenters and participants share their most important takeaways with you right now.
I'm Mark Swain from the University of Calgary, and I am also on the steering committee of CANASH. I must say that this was an amazing meeting, and it was so nice for everyone to get together and actually interact again in person. This meeting really covered a lot of very important aspects of NAFLD and NASH, and it really highlights, to me, the importance of working together as a team. Working together as a team that's centered on the patient and hearing the patient's voice. We've heard a lot of people talk about making sure that our care and our approaches to people with fatty liver disease involve the holistic approach to the patient. They have to include all of the aspects and all of the drivers that lead to fatty liver disease and potentially progressive liver disease. And these have to, by its very nature, have the patient at the middle. We need multidisciplinary teams, we need people working together, we need advocacy, and we need to really reach out to policymakers to try to change some of the things that are not quite right with regards to funding and making sure that we're doing the right things with people and patients in mind to make sure that they can have a healthy life and a healthy liver, which are so closely intertwined. And the talks, they covered the whole spectrum, all the way from what causes the disease, what we need to be doing to try to get policymakers involved in a way that they're really making meaningful change and helping people with fatty liver disease and the associated conditions live a healthier and more holistic life, and in the end, eradicating fatty liver disease.
Hello, I am Giada Sebastiani. I am Associate Professor of Medicine at McGill University and a hepatologist and clinician scientist. I am one of the founding and steering committee members of the Canadian NASH Network. It was a great meeting, being here actually in Ottawa, finally in person and meeting all the colleagues. And there were a lot of very important messages and takeaway, especially related to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That is the most frequent liver disease at the global level and in Canada. I think that what emerged as important takeaways for this meeting is first, that there is a need for more extensive epidemiological data specific to our country in Canada, which are many specifics in terms of ethnicity, in terms of geographical locations, and so on. So this is something that is a true need. Second, we also, it's emerging that there are more and more needed for knowledge, activity, and translations to practitioners and to the public, because unfortunately this is still a silent killer, in the sense that it's a disease that is not well known, but that can kill people until the last stage of the disease. There are no symptoms, unfortunately, from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And finally, I think there is really a need for promote and incentivize new therapeutics and awareness on what lifestyle modifications can do and improve lives of patients living with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Thank you for the opportunity to discuss aspects from this meeting. My name is Alina Ramji. I'm from the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. I'm one of the steering committee members of CANASH. We had a fantastic meeting. It was wonderful to see everybody. What I took away from this meeting is the importance and integral part of collaboration between everyone, between the practitioners, between family medicine, between specialists, looking internationally, nationally, regionally, and on a local basis as well. Probably the most integral part is the patient-centered approach which we will need to take, not only to understand where we are with the disease, looking at epidemiology and the burden of disease. For the understanding and the translation of this knowledge, it's integral to have the patient involved, to understand or evolve the diagnostics for the patient, and then again in the context of therapies, and I don't mean just drugs. I mean when you're looking at things like aspects of nutrition, of exercise, and one day hopefully interventional aspects of medications as well. Thank you again for participating and listening.
Hi, I'm Chris Coleman, Director of Liver Institute Northwest and Professor at Washington State University in Washington State, USA. And I'm really pleased to have been part of this inaugural CAN-NASH, Canadian NASH meeting here in Ottawa. And a variety of really important talks were given at this meeting, ranging from recognition of the public health impact of NASH as a looming health crisis. NASH is already in the United States affecting 12 to 20 million Americans and has become one of the leading indications for liver transplantation. It's closely tied to the epidemic of obesity and metabolic syndrome. And we recognize after the important talks at this meeting that this is going to require a multi-pronged effort on the part of health policymakers, clinicians, academicians, and industry to bring new treatments, to prevent worsening liver complications, to bring diet, lifestyle, and nutritional approaches to combat this disease. And I feel very confident after this meeting that we will leave this meeting in Ottawa with a much better and clear idea about the agenda that we need to incorporate and pursue to try and control this looming epidemic in Canada and the rest of the world.
My name is Heather Kosic, and I'm a fifth-year resident in gastroenterology. I'm doing my hepatology training next year at the University of Toronto. I'm here at the Canadian Liver Meeting. I'm a recipient of one of the CASL fellowship scholarships, and I've been having an excellent time here at the Liver Meeting. I've been getting to learn sort of the up-and-coming research from researchers here in hepatitis B, and of course my favorite topic, NAFLD. I got to know Mike Patel from the Fatty Liver Alliance, and I think one of the biggest things that has had an impression to me today and yesterday at the meeting is the real such the broad impact of NAFLD overall, and this tsunami of NAFLD that is coming in Canada, and the impacts that this has on patients, and really the role we can take on as doctors in working with patients and fostering these relationships, which I think will have a positive effect on treating this disease, which is really going to become one of the major causes of liver disease in our country. So, having a great time.
Hi, my name is Henry Nguyen, and I'm an assistant professor at the University of Calgary Cummings School of Medicine and a hepatologist with the University of Calgary Liver Unit. The meeting has been fantastic, really showcasing the current burden and likely ongoing burden of NAFLD and NASH here in Canada. There's a lot of exciting new therapies that are being investigated, including anti-diabetic drugs, things that target the microbiome, and I think there's a lot of exciting things to come down the pipeline soon for a problem that where the medical therapy is unmet medical need.
So good morning, my name is Castilla. I'm professor of hepatology at the University of Paris and an hepatologist in Beaujon Hospital, Paris, France. I'm very pleased to be in Canada, and this is actually my first meeting in Canada, and I really enjoy a lot all the presentations, especially on NAFLD and NASH, that is my focus of expertise and area of expertise. One of the important things about NAFLD, given the high burden worldwide and also in Canada and in France, is the general lack of awareness among colleagues and among patients. And this is critical. We need really to work for the future to increase the awareness regarding NAFLD and NASH. That is the only way to tackle this disease, and of course we need a treatment.
Hello, my name is Stephen Congley. I am a clinical associate professor of medicine at the University of Calgary, and I'm a transplant hepatologist practicing both general and transplant hepatology. This CAN-NASH meeting was outstanding, reviewing the burden of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in Canada, as well as discussing ways to try and better implement and improve our our diagnosis and intervention in the future. The key message that I really want to take home from this is the importance of case identification of patients living with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a silent disease and is often under-recognized in the population, with burdens of up to 25% of the population living with this disease. I think an important message for those in practice is to have a high threshold of case identification for patients at risk of this disease, specifically those with diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and to risk stratify patients who are at risk of advanced fibrosis, whether it be through blood work tests such as the FIB4, non-full fibrosis score, or proprietary blood scores such as the ELF, as well as considering the use of transient elastography to risk stratify and identify the patients who require the most effort with lifestyle modification and follow up from the whole medical team.
I'm Peter Galley. I'm originally from Montreal and more recently living in Jacksonville, Florida. So this meeting has been very eye-opening, I think, for a lot of us. We've all appreciated as liver doctors the importance of fatty liver as it becomes a more common and more serious problem in our population. But I think what I'm taking home from this meeting is how important it is to tie this in to what's happening on the front lines in the family physician's office or in the primary care office, where it's just practically very difficult for people to identify the problem and then link people to the care that they need. So I think what's really needed now is to find a way to make it easy for primary care physicians to identify it and to get support, tangible support for action to really start to improve this major pandemic, the real pandemic that's happening, and not just this temporary one that we're living through right now. And I think the future of this is going to be based on informatics and the ability of computers to help us in identifying patients who are at risk and providing the right type of linkage to care. And I think what government agencies or other interested parties can do to help with this is really provide some tangible support towards this modern informatic approach to medicine, which will help us to deliver personalized care to those who really need it.
I hope you enjoyed the insights and thoughts shared by our 9 guests today on the Fatty Liver Alliance FLA on the Road. For lots more informative video chats, please visit us at fattyliver.ca. Thanks and see you soon.